want to go over like adding pick list values and then also like changing layouts, right?
Correct.
Yeah, no problem. Super easy. And as soon as I get live, and you want to record it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm recording it right now.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That was weird. It typed murder. Oh,
What?
it's transcribing.
Yeah, it transcribes and records.
That's funny.
Oh, I've seen some hilarious transcriptions. All right. So here we are. Okay. So a few things. Pick list changes, super easy. And what's the pick list we want to change? It's on the property object?
No, it's on the contact.
Got it. So let's just go there real quick just to pick the field so we know what it is. So details, it's one of these lists, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, easy. So anytime you're going to do anything like this, it's going to be in setup. That's going to be the gear icon right here. And then you're going to hit setup right there. All the changes we're doing today are going to be from the object manager, which is going to be this tab right here. And then you're going to go to the object that you're working on. We're going to type in the quick find contact, and that's going to be right here. So and pretty much anytime you're going to change something, you're going to be going to that object manager.
Contact?
If it's on the contact.
Object manager tab.
Right, which is this tab right here.
Because it defers to the home.
Right. So in this case, we're changing the contact, but if you wanted to add a pick list to, let's say, the property, you go to Object Manager, in the quick find, type in property, and click on property. So this Object Manager is really the key to everything you want to do. So we'll go to contact, and then you've got these sub tabs over here to the left. We're going to go to fields and relationships. And this is a list of all the fields. You've got the field label, the field name, and then the data type. Is it a pick list? Is it a checkbox? What have you. So what's the name of the field we're trying to change?
Go ahead and RP. Or do R. Richards. Let me look on my list again.
No, we need the field.
Yeah, JR. I'm sorry.
Oh, JR. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Sorry. JR. Here it is, JR list. And we can see that it's a multi-select pick list. Okay, so we'll click on that. And then if we scroll down a little bit, we're going to see the values, right? And these are the current values, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then opportunity. So what changes are we trying to make?
We want to change the whole name. So the field name, we want it to say, what's Nick's last name?
Realistically, I would rather, is it easier to delete this one in full and create a new one? I'm just asking.
Well, let me hear what you're trying to do first, and then I'll let you know.
In regards to the JR, it needs to be, we need to have one for the letters N like Nick, B like boy list instead of JR list. And then another one for P, R.
Okay, so, and what's the use case here? Is JR gone and we have somebody new?
Correct.
Ah, I see. Okay, so if you're trying to make the decision, should I just repurpose this or should I make a new one? I think the question you need to ask is, right now, this field has values, right? Like there's leads or contacts with values here. Do you want this new person to inherit all of those values, basically? So let's say we take the JR list and we make it the George list. Do you want the George list to have, to basically inherit all of these values that are currently there in the JR list field, or do you want to start fresh?
For this particular one, because I know that JR has nothing in it, we can go ahead and fresh list.
Yeah. So yeah, I think your best practice here is to create a new one, and just take this one off the layout and keep it for historical purposes.
Yes.
So in this case, let's just go ahead and
Let's say if we wanted to hide that JR list real quick.
Yep, we're going to do that as well.
Got
I think what we want to do here is JR list. So let's make a new one. We're going to go new. The data type is a pick list with multi-select.
George, and I so apologize. So when you put the fields and relationships and you put in JR, instead of clicking on it, you're just going to click the new button?
Yeah, you don't even need to type JR at this point. This is if you want to create a new field.
Okay.
So you just click new, and now we're creating a brand new field. And, something like this, you definitely want to check with me on it and just make sure, can get kind of tricky as far as should I create a new field? Should I repurpose one? But in general, we're going to create a new pick list, which is pretty straightforward. And then we're going to give it a name. And what did we want to call this?
N as in Nancy, B as in boy, list.
Cool. Okay. So for values, we want to enter our values with each separated by a new line. Now, is this going to have the same 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunity?
Yeah, everything.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunity.
Actually, if you see on the other pick list for myself, you'll have morning, evening, like that.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better actually.
Okay.
So if you open up another tab and you can see my layout.
What's yours called?
JN. Yep.
Yes.
Whoa.
Do
this?
We need all
major
of those values?
Yeah, so for NRA it would be morning, afternoon, evening, opportunity, quarterly, research. Yep, same things.
Yeah, so let's just copy this and then we'll get rid of one. So do we want major accounts? No.
No, take that off. Yeah.
Okay. Ownership confirmed.
Yeah.
Take it off?
I think we should keep that one.
Yeah, I should keep that one. Put research on the top though too. Get the easiest one. Probably get to.
Okay.
Yep.
How's that look?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Then you can choose. Okay, so this is really important. Restrict pick list values to the values defined in the value set. That's really important. Meaning, if you're using some sort of form or something, you can only have these values. You can't just enter your own. You can't use the data loader and put the word potato in here if this is checked, right? It's got to be these. That's what this checkbox says. So we like that. Visible lines, this is on the layout. How many lines do you want to show without scrolling? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you want to not scroll, you could put 7, which I kind of like.
I agree.
And then you're going to go to next. This is basically saying, okay, which profiles can see this? And we're not going to restrict anybody. Everybody can see this. This isn't super sensitive information. And then which layout do you want to put this on? Well, we only have one layout, so we're going to put it there. So we're just going to hit save. So that's part one. Part one is just creating the field. And it's super easy. If you wanted to create a checkbox for something, you can do that. Same way, you'd click new, you'd make a checkbox, and you could name it whatever you want, and it's pretty straightforward for simple things like that. What you don't want to do is get into creating relationship fields because they get quite tricky, especially for this org. So I would say if you're creating a date field, meeting time or something like that, you can create these date time fields, something like that. A text field, maybe you want people to enter text. That's pretty straightforward stuff. Kind of stay away from these without checking for me. But these ones pretty straightforward. So after you create the field, the next thing is where does it go on the layout? And this is also where we're going to tackle hiding a field, right? And that's going to be over here in page layouts. So the only two things we've really messed with here are the fields and relationships and then the page layouts. Everything else is not nothing we have to worry about. So in this case, we only have one layout, nice and easy. We'll click on it. And then we're taken back in time to the old classic view. And this is where we mess with our layout. So whenever you create a new field, where is it? Where's our new field? That's really the question. Look where it puts it. It kind of puts it wherever it wants. And so you have to find it. It's usually on the left and towards the bottom, but we found it right here. Here's the NB list, right? So all we have to do is drag wherever we want it. Now here are all of our lists. Where do you want it? In the bottom, the top, somewhere in the middle?
Put it below JE.
Correct. Yeah.
So then we've got the old one, which is JR, right? So for JR, all you do is you come down here to this field, carefully scroll over and hit this little minus, and that removes it. So let me just kind of show you the lay of the land here. You've got like what your fields look like. So for example, if we wanted to get rid of fax, because nobody uses faxes, we could do that. We could just take it out here, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and delete it.
Right. Now, let's say, so up here, these are all the fields that aren't on the layout, the ones that are not grayed out, right? So lead source is not on here, which makes sense. It's not a lead. Fax, here's fax. If we wanted to put it back, we just drag it from down here. The ever popular fax opt out. If we wanted to put that on here, you know, key field, very important. But you see my point, right? Like birth date, you can throw in here. So all your fields are up here. When you make a new one, it is going to put it on the layout somewhere. So you just need to drag it around. So let's say you come in here and you're like, man, I hate this contact layout. Just come in here and move stuff around. Like, for example, we've got all these phone number fields, right? Let's say you just wanted to clean it up a little bit. What you can do is you've got these two special fields here called section and blank space. These are just for organization. So check it out. Let's say I want to take a new section. I drag this section thing. This actually takes some practice to drag it in the right spot. But let's say we put it right up here. We're going to create a new section, and let's just call it, I won't save this, but I'm just going to show you. Let's just call it phone numbers, right? It's going to have 2 columns, and it's going to go from left to right. Now we just made this new section called phone numbers, and technically speaking, you could do something like this. Drag the whole thing down here, and, you know, maybe put all the other phones over here, and then you have the main ones. So that could really kind of clean this up. Then you could kind of take these and drag them over here. You see where I'm getting, right? Like, it's really easy to mess with the layout here, and I won't, unless you want me to save this, I would suggest doing this, because the nice thing is you could like collapse this phone number thing if you don't want it. But
I don't think we should at the moment.
You don't want to do it like this?
No, keep it out the way it is.
It's fine. Yeah. So that's just how you would do that. So I'm going to cancel. Then we'll go back in here. And so let me just fix what I did before. So again, we'll take the NB list. We'll put it below the JE list.
JR, and then minus. And then can we go ahead and minus the other people's lists right now that don't apply?
Yeah, do you want to take more people off here? Sure.
Yeah, CC, SL, DP.
And ER.
Yep.
Or do we want to keep one of them in order to rename it?
No, go and get rid of them.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, NB, stay or go.
Yep. Put me on top. JLN.
Yeah, JLN.
And then JE.
Where did JE just go?
Yeah, JE list, right below me.
Yep.
And then NB.
That stays. And then ER and
everything else down from that down.
And then we just need to add Paul.
Okay, so right now we have 3. Is that right?
Correct.
Cool. So we're just going to hit save. And that's it. Now, sometimes it takes a while to render these changes on the contact record. So if you go over here and hit refresh, and it's going to show all the lists still, don't be surprised. Sometimes you even have to like clear your cookies. Well, this one we got lucky and it's right away. But you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes it just takes a while. Sometimes you have to log in and log out depending on like your cookie settings or whatever. But you're good. Okay.
So then can I just take control and can I do it for the next one so I can understand how to do this for future?
That is a fantastic idea. Let's do it.
Perfect. Bear with me. Let me.
That arrow, top right.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah, you know Teams.
All right, can you guys see?
Yeah.
Perfect. So field and relationships, and then technically I don't need to do any lists, so I'm actually going to press new, and I am doing the pick list multi-select.
Yep.
That is all that I needed, so I'm going to go ahead and press next. The folder label is now going to be PR list, which we needed this one, and now I don't remember what all of it was, so now I have to go into the other. I probably should have copied.
Just duplicate this tab. Right click on the tab, and do you have duplicate? Oh no, on the tab in the browser. So you see you have like, yeah, right click that, duplicate.
Thank you.
Then just hit back a few times or yeah, just hit field and relationships actually. There you go. And then go to the one you want to copy from. There you go. And then right now, if you want to copy those, so look what happens when you try to copy them. You're going to get all that garbage, right? So they made a hack. Click that printable view button.
Ah, perfect.
Right?
Awesome.
There you go. Now you can go back, just paste it in there and clean it up. There you go.
And then we actually wanted research and no major accounts. And we did want that, and we wanted to change this to 7. And there was nothing else, so it's next, correct?
Correct.
And from here, you said there was nothing that
there's nothing to do, but just for example, right? Let's say that you wanted to make a field that only the admin can see or something, then you'd unselect visible and only check it for like system admin, right?
Got it.
That's how you would do that.
And then there was nothing else because there was the only one layout, so we're pressing
Correct.
save.
Yep. And
then from the page layouts, we're clicking here, and then you said that we needed to go to the classic view.
No. It what I was saying is this looks like the old classic version. It's just it just looks like that for some reason. So you're good.
And then the PR list, I am just putting the place where I want it, and then I'm going to press save. Which I just the PR list here from down here and save, correct?
You got it.
Perfect.
Super easy. There you go.
Sweet.
Yep.
That is, and then of course, moving forward, if I do need to make any changes, then I can just contact you, just so I know I'm not making any mistakes.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, layout changes, just, you know, make those all day long, right? It's just a layout. You're never deleting a field. When you're in page layout, you can never break
truly delete it. It's just up here for you.
Exactly. This is just what's visible, so you can never go wrong here. So don't worry about
so it's just the fields and relationships that I need to worry about.
This kind of is, yes, because as I said, if it's very, very basic, you know, make a field, make a checkbox, make a date field, make a text field, not a big deal.
Okay, perfect.
If you want to just double check and run it through by me, no problem at all.
Okay.
Super easy, guys.
Can you, Mindy, can you go back to my pick list?
Oh, to your pick list? Sorry. Yeah. I think I just changed something here. Sorry. Oh, I'm an object manager. Where did I go? let's just, oh, I'm here, but you said I have to click home. Did I click something different here?
No, you're on Object Manager. What are you looking for?
She's looking for my pick list.
Right, but see, you're in the Object Manager, so you
have
to
which we need to go into contacts.
There you go.
Yes, that's what it was. And then field of relationships.
There you go.
And
nice.
then JLN.
And then can you move research to the top?
So good one. So see if you can figure that out.
Reorder.
Nice.
And you want major counts on the bottom?
No, that's fine.
Okay. And then save?
Yeah. And then have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to view.
We can change that. So
and keep that default value as blank, because that's if you want to force, a default value on every new record, basically. And you don't want to do that in this case.
All right, your visible lines are now 8.
Now let's take a look at it. See if it came out right. I'd probably just go in the other tab.
Yep.
Where did I put that?
And then just go to a contact.
I'll just.
And then just hit refresh.
There it goes. So those.
Then click on the edit on JLN, the right hand side of it. No, pick on the 2 down.
Oh yes.
Boom. Awesome.
Sweet. I'll probably go ahead and make those changes to others as well. So that totally works for me. Awesome. Well, that helps me out a ton. Thank you, George.
You got it.
Well,
anything else?
No, I think that's it. Hey, it's a bummer I wasn't going to see you out this week. I was hoping I would.
I know. Me too. There's always next year.
Right. George, I just have one more question for you. I wanted to know, just on a general on a high overview of Salesforce, what video is the best, and if there's also any other things in regards to the admin side of things that you can send over to me so I can understand the full concepts of Salesforce, of how everything connects and works.
Yeah, good one. Good question. Okay, so look, every Salesforce org is highly different, right? Especially this one.
And I'm learning that difference because we have this, and unfortunately we have some things that we have to work on with Northmark Salesforce. Right. So I'm really trying to figure out the differences between this one and that one, so I can make sure both are up to par correctly per, compliance purposes.
Yeah. I mean, this one is pretty unique because of the relationships that we have with these like partners and some of like the things we've done. So there's no kind of look, if you really want to kind of get into understanding Salesforce at its core and admin things, the best resource by a mile is going to be Trailhead.
Trailhead?
Yes, and it's the most amazing thing that was ever created. Trailhead is free, kind of gamified Salesforce hands-on training by Salesforce, right? So when you go, let me show you something. I'm gonna take not control, but let me share my screen and show you what it is. It's highly addicting, and
it's kind of a rabbit hole.
It really is.
Well, no, and I just say this because I'm very used to being admin for systems that I've worked in the past. So for me, not fully understanding the admin side is driving me crazy.
Yep. So I'm gonna show you where you're gonna start here, because this is super. Oh, which one of these can I do here? I don't even know. Let's try this. Oh, of course not. All right, we don't need to log in actually. Okay. So when you go here, there's these trails, right? So these are all of the badges. There's probably 1,000 of them, and you can get pretty overwhelmed on like where to start, right? These aren't even badges; these are trails. So trails are just collection of badges, right?
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to start with just type in the word admin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you're going to start. Admin beginner, this trail. This trail, once you log in, you get points, you get badges, tiers, all that kind of fun stuff. But this is where you're going to start. And you're going to start with the get started with the Salesforce platform. It's super easy. Once you go through, it'll give you, let me skip this.
And I'm just going to keep going each overview.
You kind of go through. This one will walk you through your playground, setting up a playground, which is like a dev environment where you can literally you'll be doing all your challenges here. You'll be, it's basically a fresh org that you can do for all of your challenges. And what happens is you kind of go through here, and then you'll have a challenge. It's a hands-on challenge in your playground. It'll tell you, hey, it wants you to add a custom field. Guess what? We just did that today on the contact object. So this is just this one will be a review, right? And it's like, hey, I want you to create a currency field. You need to label it this. And then what you do is you click this, and it will log into your thing and check your work and tell you if you did it right or you made a mistake, which is awesome, right?
It's like a game.
It is. Yes. It's fantastic. Oh my God.
Hands-on though, this is like the best thing that I've seen in a long time with
it is, and it's better than any video you could do. And then once you go through, so I recommend you go through admin, beginner, intermediate, advanced. By the way, none of this is any code whatsoever. That's really getting into like the developer ones. So this is nothing to do with this. And then if there's something kind of specific, you can kind of peruse through the modules and see if there's something kind of specific you want to learn. I mean, just look how many there are. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I think it said 279. So yes.
Maybe. Yeah. And then
oh no,
if you really want to get crazy. Okay. Get into these super badges, and the super badges are really cool. These are like they give you a high level problem of all these things you'll be doing, and it's like, you know, hey, it wants you to import data, it wants you to make some reports. It's more of like, really, people care more about super badges than even certifications these days. But I think that your path looks like this: go through the admin trails, and then you might as well kind of work towards your admin certification, even if it doesn't mean you want to get it or anything. That study is the path, right? Like of understanding this. So if you go with, like for example, Salesforce admin certification, it's called, it's admin 201, right? Okay. So check this out. This whole thing of like study and prepare for the certification, even if you don't take the test, which, you know, this will get you where you need to go to really start understanding this. Okay.
Perfect. I really appreciate that. Is exactly what I needed in order to do research. So thank you.
You got it, guys.
Trailhead Salesforce. Perfect.
Yep.
All right. That's all I had. So thank you, George. I really appreciate it.
You got it.
Cool, George. Hey, appreciate it, bud.
Okay. Talk to you guys soon.
Have a great day.
Thanks,
you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.